What looked amazing in the ads, but turned out to be useless after you bought it? Anything that is supposed to remove hair permanently. Or restore it permanently. Cries in testosterone. That rat bastard molecule. When I was like 6 or so, there was a commercial for Transformers underwear that came out just before Christmas where the kids wearing them could transform. They were the only thing that I asked for Christmas that year. I forget what my parents got me, but I distinctly remember being disappointed that it wasn't Transformers underwear. Later that day my grandparents showed up, and when I opened the Transformers underwear they got me, it was by far the most excited I have ever or will ever be in my life. I went to the bathroom and put them on, then went back into the living room and proceeded to try to transform in front of my family while they laughed at me. I remember my grandfather joking, maybe you need to plug them in first. That is easily the most let down I have ever been by a commercial. Grandpad. Bought one for my tech-illiterate mom-in-law for Christmas. Spent 3 days trying to set it up with tech support before admitting it was a piece of $200 crap. Ended up returning it and customizing an older Android tablet for her. Made it so she couldn't install or buy anything without a password, hid all the system controls so you can't find them without search, then hid search. Installed only the few apps she needed and hid and disabled the rest. Made it so I could remotely update and change things from my iPad. Installed a better keyboard for her eyes and we were good to go. Her favorite apps are Bingo and YouTube where she watches nature videos all day. She has a radio installed and an app for local news. Smile at it, holy panda poop. I woke up to so many replies. Okay, I'ma try to get to everyone. Hang on. There's a whole market for that. Especially if you incorporate video calling. I've seen lots of tablets geared toward seniors, but none of them seem to really nail the concept. Old people don't like products aimed at old people because they make them feel old and incapable. Old people just want something they can use. It's a fine line, but it can make all the difference in the success of a product. It's like how the Dodge Magnum was marketed as a vehicle for middle-aged dads who need some fun in their lives. That may have indeed been their target audience, but they were too blatant about it. Now whenever I see someone driving a Dodge Magnum, I just imagine the driver is a lame dad who never has any fun. Not the best image for a product. Subaru got it right. They didn't specifically target lesbians, but the marketing they did resonated with a lot of lesbians nonetheless. The same should apply to things like tablets. Make one that old people would want to use, but don't market it as a tablet for old people. Edit, apparently Subaru did target lesbians in their marketing, but they weren't overt or blatant about it. It was more of a dog whistle. The Subaru one was deliberate as well. Their research showed that lesbians were the ones most likely to buy Subaru, so they catered their ads to that audience but had to be subtle about it because being gay wasn't socially acceptable when they started the campaign. Freedom. Independence. Spontaneity. Go anywhere. Do anything. Do it by yourself. While being a woman. And the Xena license plate. Xena LVR. Slapshop. Tried slicing already sliced apples and it just broke. Duck you Vince. Duck yes. I bought one and it fucking broke on the first slap. Now I've got to chop things with a knife like a fucking chump. I have the KitchenAid version, and it's going strong years later. Edit, damn it, I said Yates instead of years. When I was a kid I remember seeing a commercial about a remote control car that could drive on the walls. Of course I was ducking amazed. Turns out it was a 10 centimeters long car that had a vacuum system built in, made a lot of noise and was super slow. Yep. And half the time it would just fall off the wall. For me it didn't even stay on the wall for literally 1 second. I hate chopping vegetables, so I bought one of those automatic things they show on TV. A whole diced onion in 30 seconds. It mainly just smushed everything and got clogged up and took forever to clean. Turns out a knife and cutting board is easier. The slap chop? I used to see ads for those things all the dang time. Slap my nuts. You're going to love my nuts. I have a new treadmill and elliptical I can sell you. But where will you hang clothes? Right? My clothes hang on the right side of the treadmill, my wives are on the left. Showing my age here. One Christmas when I was a kid I was dying to get the electronic football game. Opened up my presents and there it was. Got it set up and plugged it in and the bastards just vibrated all over the place and fell over. That's first down. Set up all 22 players again for second down. Rattle hum hum splat. Same thing. You can see where this is going. Never played the damn thing again. My parents just moved and my brother found ours tucked away in the shop. It still worked and still went to Goodwill to disappoint some 21st century child. There were these things called bendaroos that I would often see on TV as a kid. They were these bendy things you could stick together and build stuff out of, and they looked so cool. My cousin bought a pack of them and invited me to play with her. The bendaroos turned out to be these pathetic waxy sticks that you could not really build with. They didn't bend easily, they didn't really stick together, but damn did they make your hands and everything else around sticky. I picked these up for my son years ago. I swear he got two out, tried to stick them together, twisted them, screwed them into something resembling a twine ball, walked away. The whole box sat in the end cupboard looking unopened for about 6 years. Every year I went to get the Christmas decorations out, I'd see them, think, what the bloody hell are those? I'd remember, shrug, leave them be for another year, Lamau. There was this ham which had commercials specially addressed to kids. It was saying that if you take a bite you go on an adventure. It also showed the kid that ate it teleporting into a spaceship and going on a space adventure. Bought it and it was just a regular ham. What a ducking letdown. I dunno, ham sounds really good. RN. Petty pause, that rotary nail file for dogs. It would have taken at least 20 minutes of filing per nail, and no dog is going to hold still that long. What a waste of money. An ultrasonic dishwasher device. You fill up the sink, add some liquid soap and turn on the USB-powered ultrasonic vibrator device that will peel off any dirt from your dishes. All you need to do is rinse after 5 minutes. Total flop. It turns out we don't have that tech yet. And it would waste too much water. Edit, I meant we don't have the tech for home dishwashers. Ultrasonic cleaners are well used in the industry, that's why I bought it thinking it would work the same. We do have the technology, it is just not practical for home uses. I worked at a place that used ultrasonic tanks to remove baked-on oil from helicopter transmission coolers. I use them to clean hidden blood off of surgical instruments. Very cool. Tooth whitening kit. Comes with some gel and a blue lead thing you put in your mouth for a few minutes twice a day. Used it for 2 weeks with absolutely no change, 30 down the drain. The inaudible to humans cat deterrent devices you're supposed to be able to hide in your garden. It was really loud and piercing and utterly ineffective. I eventually gave up and got a cat. Now only one cat poos in my flower beds, which is an improvement, and I know what he eats. I think for these it depends on how old you are, and therefore how good your hearing is. The neighbors at my mom's place have one, and it's such an annoying high-pitched sound to me, but my mom and the neighbors, 50 plus, apparently don't hear it at all. What an awful business model. Humans can't hear it. Humans aged 48 and over with profound high-frequency hearing loss. Your neighbors in their 30s will probably throw bricks through your windows in response to our product, but they're not real people yet, so duck 'em. Not to mention the ones that are supposed to deter moles, that everyone installs here. I have pretty bad high-frequency hearing loss. I can only hear up to 14 kHz at 27, which I think is about equivalent to what you should hear at 40-ish. I can still hear those ducking mole deterrents though. Drives me nuts if there's one going off every 5 seconds at night. They should be illegal. Neighbor had one and it drove me nuts until I figured out what it was after a couple of weeks. Luckily neighbor was cool about it and returned the damn thing. Also, because it didn't work tongue. One of those Dyson fans, it looked awesome, you could your arm through it. It was expensive, loud, overly bright LED, collected dust like a mofo, and worst part was that it blew with the capacity of a pack-a-day asthmatic smoker. A drone. So cool. Fly around and look at stuff from above. Then what? Don't use it. Pain in the arse to carry around and set up. My sister got a really cheap one for her birthday one year that had been previously owned by someone. She was flying it fairly high and I guess it lost connection or something because it just took off into the sky. I'm sure it eventually crash landed somewhere, but our house was surrounded by forests so we never saw it again. Might still be hanging out in a tree branch somewhere. My neighbor's kid had that issue. He kept flying it really high and it just kept going, off into the sunset. Or the busy road nearby. Who knows, I felt so bad, helped him look for it, as he had just gotten it that day. But we never found it and his mom was so angry. Somewhere in some lonely farm, an old man is wondering why these flying robots keep dropping onto his roof. He will make an army of them. A grand army.